Welcome everybody. I am here with Team Night Shift. It's me, Harry, and Juice. Say hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Oh,
So I got first place at the Burst Protocol premiere release event, and this happened like what, a week ago or something. I just now am doing a deck profile for it because I'm lazy. I played 𝐒𝐤𝐢𝐚. This is a 41 card list, and it is a deck that I feel extremely comfortable with. So we're just gonna go ahead and get into it real quick. So I'm running 3 𝐒𝐤𝐚𝐥. I know that the light's kind of fucking up the name a little bit, but it's fine. 3 𝐒𝐤𝐚𝐥, 3 𝐒𝐤𝐚𝐥, and 2 𝐒𝐤𝐚_CLIP. So I run the 2 clip because we don't have the new synchro that comes out in Blazing Dominion yet, and you can only make a synchro with clip by using itself, mix, or reco. You can't use it and the Q to make something because we don't have a generic level 5 tuner synchro yet. So that's why it's at 2, and to be honest, usually when you're using this, you're either searching it as part of your combo, or you're hopefully making like Maker with it and Mix to pop a monster and then search, or making RS with it and Reco. But a lot of the time I found that just holding it and not doing anything with it was better than using it on the opponent's turn because they have chances to interact with it. So, for non-engine, I'm running 3 Molcharmy Fulos, as well as 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 3 Ghost Spell in Haunted Mansion, 3 Effect Veiler, 2 Droll and Lockbird, and then 1 Red Nova. This is the list I took to the event as well. I don't know if I specified that or not. I decided to play Droll in main because I had 2 slots. It is a 41 card list, but I had 2 slots to work with because I was like, I don't want to just run like one non-engine of something like a Ghost Ogre. And then Droll got hit to 2, so I went, okay, I'll put Droll in main, and that works out and it kind of covers my bases for the matchups that either don't care about the Charmies or search a fuck ton, like Lunalight, Typhoon, White Forest, Branded. So putting Droll in main kind of solved those matchups for me. And I actually played against Typhoon in the round before finals, and I opened Droll in game 1, and then I opened double Droll in game 3. And it cleaned the matchup up super easily, so...
I feel like any deck that you can just have 2 slots in, you just auto-include Droll now, because it's so low commitment.
I agree. I think them putting Droll to 2 made it much more viable to play it in main deck.
Yeah, and now it literally just wins like matchups that otherwise would make an unbreakable board.
Yeah, and I feel like Droll is necessary, especially for Branded and Typhoon and Lunalight, because something that a lot of people don't realize, or they do realize, but they play the decks that do this, is decks like White Forest, Branded, Lunalight, Typhoon, Dark World, those decks do not have a ceiling, so you can dump 5 hand traps on them, but if they're not exactly Droll, they're gonna play through everything, and they make hand traps feel as if you're just playing with an empty hand against them. So I feel like Droll...
You can also just have a locals like ours, and there's just 3 White Forest players.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, I need this card.
So, me personally, I think that Droll is healthy because it counters a unhealthy part of the game. But there is an unhealthy dynamic to Droll, which is you can use it after making your board, which obviously is not fair. So what we were talking about is they should make a Molcharmy Fulos that either draws every time your opponent searches or draws a card, or make another Droll, but make it so that you can only activate it if you control no cards. And then that would solve everything. It would allow you to play into those stupid, like, no ceiling matchups, where your opponent kind of just, like, turns their gears for 50 minutes while they're forging through their combo, but it also prevents you from using that card as part of your inboard piece. So, anyway, enough about that. For the spells, I'm running 2 𝐒𝐨𝐜𝐿 Cooltoon. I was running one of this for a while, and by a while it was literally like two weeks. And then I realized that Cooltoon has an issue of killing if you don't run the second 𝐒𝐨𝐜 Cooltoon, at least until we get the new support. So the second 𝐒𝐨𝐜 is for if your opponent outs the first one and you need to get to the second one. It's also really good for if you open a synchro or like 2 synchros and you end up either not using them or not needing them. You can grab the 𝐒𝐨𝐜 off of the synchro or the maker, which is very important. Especially because I no longer play the playlist. I don't think playlist is good with the new Shackled Dragon being out. I play 3 Cooltoon Synchro. This card's crazy. We just did a match between Lunalight and Cooltoon on stream, and Juice ashed this, and me and Harry were like, dude, why did you ash the synchro? And he was like, well,
the second one.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, I didn't know you had a second one in hand, and that's when I was like, yeah, you should ash either the Q or the overtake, or hell, even 𝐒𝐶 if you can. Like, if you see me go 𝐒𝐶 effect, attribute, and summon, definitely ash that. For the rest of the spells, I'm running 3 Forbidden Droplet. This deck has another weakness against, has a weakness with specifically comboing into boards and also not having enough interaction to deal with multiple cards. So I put Droplet in to deal with that, and the reason for this is because you run 1, 2, 3. You run 3 synchro, which is a quick play. You run a bunch of hand traps that might not go off, such as Fuelos, if you go first. And then occasionally, if you have the 𝐒𝐶 in your hand, you can send the body you control to grave using the Droplet to ensure that it goes off through an imperm, while also removing an active threat on your opponent's board. And then plus, we were also running 3 Synchro Overtake, 2 Pot of Extravagance, and 1 Pot of Prosperity. So this kind of just makes, all of these cards make the Droplet so much better, because you can go Pot or Extrav, and then send these off the Droplet, or send the Overtake off the Droplet, and they are essentially trading, it's essentially like a 1 card, instead of it just being like, oh yeah, let me send some monsters I can't use, and go neg that way. And then on top of that, if you open these with like Synchro and Droplet, it's crazy, because you go Extrav, chain Synchro, chain Droplet, and now you're sending 2 cards essentially for free. Feels really good. I love
that the pot cards just force negates.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was running 3 Extrav, but I cut it down to 2 because I cut it down to 2 and I ran the 1 Prosp, because they're this is actually the thing that sold me on this ratio. So I went Extrav, my opponent ashed it, and I had a Prosp in hand. And I sat there and I went, I need to look up a ruling real quick. So I looked up the ruling for activating Pot of Prosperity after going Extrav and it gets negated. And you can do it. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm sold on this ratio now. And it was beautiful. I went Extrav, he ashed it, I went Prosp as a separate chain. And I went Banish 3, and I believe I got the Evenly against Dracotail. So that was pretty cool. For the extra deck, I'm running 1 Hot Red Dragon Abyss. This is because you're running the Zalin. I run 2 Zalin. The reason I'm running 2 Zalin, I would run 3, but I'd have to take out the Hot Red, which is probably fine. You don't really make the Hot Red very often. The multiples of Zalin is because of the Extrav. And also, Zalin is just such a key part of your inboard now, that not having it genuinely was the reason that I was losing so many games before. But now that we have Zalin, every time Zalin stuck to the board, I won that game. there wasn't a single game where I made Xiao and I lost. And the reason for that is because Xiao is an Omni Negate, and you can trigger it yourself by going Chain Synchro to any opponent's card effect. And then you can go Xiao negate the first thing in the chain. On top of that, we're also running the Cooltoon RS, which is another technical Omni Negate. It's a face-up card effect negate. So you're making 2 Omni Negates on your turn most of the time, and then you have things in the form of protection and other interaction like Loudness War. To be honest, I didn't really make a Loudness War a whole lot. It was kind of just whatever. I only ever made it if I felt like I was playing a matchup that required protection from card destruction effects. For example, in final round, I was playing against Gym Knight OTK, which was really strange. That dude is such an underdog. He was doing crazy all night. But I felt very comfortable going into that matchup because I was like, Gym Knight is probably fake. So against Gym Knight, I made Loudness War and I made RS. And he couldn't play through it because every time he would Raigeki, I would go, yeah, Loudness War dies. I'm gonna make another one, by the way. And then he would go Dark Hole, and I'm like, cool, let me just send that to grave, and he would be out of interaction. So, and then I also hit him with, oh, what was that card called? Oh, I hit him with Gravity Collapse, which was really funny. For the rest of the synchros, I'm running 3 Remix, as well as 3 Maker. Again, these are just ratios for running the Pot of Extravagance. I feel like if you can run Pot of Extrav, you should, because in side deck I have more board breakers, and Extrav is incredible when you're drawing into board breakers. Especially, and also Pot of Prosperity is incredible if you're drawing into board breakers. It's also great bait for Ash, and if they draw you in this deck, most of the time you don't care, because you only really need your first search to resolve, or if you just open the tuners necessary to do your combo, you just don't care if you get drilled either way. And the reason for that is because you can add the Cooltoons back from, you can add them back from deck or grave to hand with all of their effects, and Q summons from hand, deck, or grave. So playing around Droll is kind of just pretty easy to do. The only thing that sucks is if you get drolled, you can't go Maker effect, but you can still go Red Nova effect to summon from deck, go Rekko to grab from grave, which is fine. And then for the side deck, I was running 3 Nibiru, 3 Perulia. I only really sided this against... I think I only sided this against Typhoon? No, I sided this against Typhoon and K9 Crystron. Did I play you during the sneak peek juice?
Yeah, you did. I believe that was your round 1 opponent.
That's right, yeah. Yeah,
and
so...
I got swiftly 2-0'd.
And part of that was because I opened Perulia and Fua in game 2.
Against K9 Crystron.
Yeah, I opened Perulia Fua against K9 Crystron in game 2, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna seal it up.
Yeah, that
so,
was rough.
And then I opened this against Typhoon, and he decided to commit, which was a mistake on his part, because I drew into Evenly, Droplet, I drew Evenly, Droplet, Overtake, and I had like 4 or 5 other cards in my hand. Which is kind of crazy because I lost that game. And I only lost that game because I couldn't kill him that turn. So when I passed back to him, I ended on my normal interaction, but Typhoon is so stupid that the normal Cooltoon interactions just don't matter. I put up like 2 negates. No, I put up 3 Omni negates. The Pop a Spell Trap, Pop a Monster, and the Loudness War. Oh, and the Bounce with Maker. But it wasn't enough because if you don't have Droll against that deck, or you don't have like very specific non-engine, it just doesn't really matter. Especially if they have like 6 cards in hand that all are extenders and or starters. So, but game 3 in that matchup, I opened double Droll, so it was fine. I'm running 2 Lightning Storm and 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. This needs to be a 3rd Lightning Storm, but I don't have the 3rd one, so we're here. 3 evenly matched, and then 3
Honestly,
Gravity
it's
Collapse.
fine at 2. It's a once per turn anyway, so if you open 2, the other one's dead.
This is
like negate the activation.
This is very true. I didn't want to run like a random 1-of card though, in place of it, because the board breakers are for very specific matchups. Lightning Storm and Harpies are specifically for Typhoon to fetch negates right off the bat, as well as Evenly. Evenly's also here for Draco Tail, because that deck no longer loses to opening Ash Bell with the new branded cards, because they have the Fallen of Albaz, which is a circular for branded. So if you cut off part of the Draco Tail line, they just get it right back by summoning the Albaz from hand. So the breakers against Draco Tail are much better than the hand traps. And then obviously Fuelos is gonna put in a lot of work too. The gravity collapses were kind of key for some of my matchups. I played against Vanquish Soul Canine in round... We had 4 rounds, right? So it was round 2? No, it was round 3. I played against Typhoon round 2. It was Canine Crystron round 1, Typhoon round 2, Vanquish Soul Canine round 3, and then Gem Knight OTK round 4. Against Vanquish Soul Canine, I got game 1, lost game 2. Game 3 I set it in Gravity Collapse. I opened it with Mix, Q, and a couple of other cards, and I knew for a fact that even if he stopped the Q effect, Gravity Collapse was still going to resolve. So I normaled Q, he had no interaction, so I made the full inboard, and I made Zalin as my 4th or 5th summon to insulate against Nib. I brought back the Maker. I brought back the Maker with something, I can't remember what it was. Oh, I didn't normal the Q. I had JJ in hand, so I did the full combo without making Q. Or without normaling Q. So when I normal summoned Q, I went Q effect summon back Maker to tribute it off with the Collapse. So I set Collapse past turn. His first activation was the Vanquish Soul Quick Play that summons from deck. And I went, okay, so that's really funny. I'm gonna activate Gravity Collapse here, tribute the Maker, negate the summon, and you cannot summon for the rest of the turn. And he sat there and he was like, is this card real? Like, what am I looking at? What the fuck? I can't summon? I was like, yeah, dude. And he looked me in the eyes and he said, why do you always find the most obscure floodgates in synchro decks? And I was like, I don't think Gravity Collapse is that obscure. I feel like a lot of people that have played the game for a while...
I played it in Goaty.
Yeah, like a lot of people who have played a synchro deck, they know Gravity Collapse and what it does. But I think that Cold Tune is the best deck to be able to use it. Because, for example, if you open like Mix in any tuner, or if you open any Cold Tune in any tuner in hand, you can go normal summon. Let's say they imperm it as worst case scenario. The effect at the very top that says if this card on field would be used as synchro material, one tuner in your hand can be used as one of the other materials. That effect specifically is a summon condition, not a card effect. So if they imperm it, you can still go, I'm gonna synchro summon using a monster in my hand. And that is extremely important because with Gravity Collapse, as long as you can stick a Cool Tune body to the board, Gravity Collapse is alive. So that's why I was running this, and it won me 2 matches on its own, which was awesome. So, when the new support comes out, this is going to be even more dumb, because you're going to be able to put up the Omni Negates more consistently through hand traps. And you can do it all before you get into Nibiru'd. And then you can just set Gravity Collapse, so the new support's going to be kind of stupid. But anyway, yeah, that is the deck profile. I got first place. I won a playmat and a field center, which I will be getting probably this Saturday when we go back. Harry Juice, do you guys have got any parting thoughts or anything you want to talk about for the deck?
I think it's good. I want to see it top or win a YCS.
Same here. What about you, Harry? He's still alive over there?
Nah, he dead.
Yeah, I know he's like rocking back and forth in the rocking chair right now.
No, he is actively asleep. Guaranteed.
I could see it, to be honest. Oh. So, with the Xiaolin, you can make the red hot using the Xiaolin, by the way. I don't know if I explained that. But it's like not very often that you make it because a lot of the important cards tuner lock you. Or they say that you have to summon a tuner when you synchro summon. So it's not very often that you make it, but when you do make it, it's usually like a, okay, I win the game here moment.
Yeah.
Especially when you make it, and then you can go like normal Q, summon the Xiaolin back from grave. That combo is stupid, but it requires you to open JJ and another cool tune and do that combo with like you have to do that combo with a bunch of extenders like overtake. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later, alright?